added a little water to the outside. You don't smush it down because you don't want to bruise the starter. You add a little flour to the outside. You pop it in to your crock that you're going to cook it in, right? And you put the lid on it because you're going to cook it by steaming it. The steam that is created from the liquid that's already in the bread helps make that chewier crust on the outside. That's what I learned from King Arthur.
Interesting.
Right? Then I'm going to put it in the oven. It's supposed to 25 to 30 minutes. I pull it out at 20 minutes. I add a little bit more work to it. I pull it out at 20 minutes. I know, imagine that, huh? I don't follow recipes.
Of course you do.
I pull it out at 20 minutes, and then I will put it on a wire rack on a sheet pan, and I will finish it that way so it gets a nice brown coating all the way around. You don't want to burn the bottom. I've done that making this before just because I was experimenting with it. That cast iron crock, the Dutch oven, gets very warm on the bottom very quick, and you don't want to burn the oven. So we are going to set a timer now for 20 minutes or 19 minutes or whatever.
You know, that. And, sorry.
Hey,
I'm just checking
Bixby,
here.
set a timer for 19 minutes.
Yeah. I'm just checking on this flame here because it's awful large. And so I'm
There we go.
So there we go. Everything's fine now.
That's
Okay,
perfect.
great. Okay. You know.
Folks, don't try this at home.
Basically, okay, so full disclosure here. I'm not used to gas stoves.
Right.
Like that is not, it's not what I grew up with. I grew up with electric, like the whole time.
Yeah, sure,
And so
sure.
for me,
It's very
like,
different.
it's a very different cooking
Yes.
experience. And so for me, I'm like, is this right? I don't know. Is this right?
Is this what's supposed to happen?
I don't know.
I don't either.
It's so anyway. So there we go. Bread in the oven.
Yeah,
Good
bread in the
deal.
oven.
And then we have our two. We have the compote, and then we have the blueberry. The beginnings of
And
the
what are we
blueberries.
supposed to be watching for here?
So basically, what we're doing is we're waiting for the berries to break down a significant portion. You can see that it's let out a lot of its juice.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things that don't wear nice clothes when you do this because
No.
you will have purple
I went home with
everywhere.
blueberry hands, stained
Everywhere.
hands even last night just from eating it.
And so don't wear nice clothes because you will get it all over you. So while I'm waiting on that,
Which is why we wear the Williams Sonoma.
oh, the Williams Sonoma, his
Right, my
fancy,
favorite apron.
You know, right.
Hey,
mine's
but
not that fancy.
my little nephew now has his own apron.
Oh, does he?
Gus has his own
now?
apron, absolutely.
Is it a Williams Sonoma?
No, it's not a
Oh,
Williams
oh,
Sonoma.
I was gonna say.
It was
all right.
from his grandma from Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
But he's
see,
got
look,
one.
He's rocking one.
As Gus told my parents last week, you know when Uncle Joe comes home, he makes a real mess.
That is hilarious.
We shouldn't let him come here anymore.
I love it. That's
I'm like,
fantastic.
He knows Uncle Joe well.
He's got you figured
Mhm.
out. That's funny.
Amen to that.
So while we're waiting on all of that, I guess
Yeah.
I can go on ahead and do my next step.
Yeah, sure.
So that way, I'm prepped, I'm ready to go. That whole thing. So the next step that we'll be taking on in a little bit is where we're combining sour cream, flour, and salt in a separate mixing bowl. We whisk it together. And then, at the appropriate time, we take a little bit of the hot mixture, put it in here to help begin that process of heating up the sour cream and the flour and the salt. And then we dump the whole thing into the pot and let it cook for another 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to go ahead and begin that process. So sour cream, you know what? I'm not going to measure that. I'm just going to put the whole thing in. And so,
Don't measure it. Jordan doesn't measure. Jordan.
I mean, I look at recipes as a friendly guideline. As
Exactly.
like, oh hey, you should probably consider this, but if you don't like it, don't put it in there. And so that's kind of I don't know, that's just how I work. That's how I cook.
There it is.
And so, I don't know, that's probably 3/4 of a cup of sour cream. I need a little bit more than that though. Especially for the amount of berries that we have. I'm going for a cup and a half of sour cream.
and you're using sour cream and not Greek yogurt.
I know. I know. Mostly because
Mhm.
I knew there was so much controversy. Guys, I didn't think that
I am very
because
surprised in the
that-
recipe that we're not using Greek yogurt.
I did
am
buy
100%.
it. I did buy it because I was like, what if I could sneak it in and anybody will notice?
Mhm.
But then I was like, you know what? Y'all are like super sleuths out there. I'd